Hello, my name is Cynthia Sarah, and thank you so much for joining me today on this channel, Faithful Mama Life, where we talk about faith, life, and motherhood. I have been gone for so long, but I'm so glad and so blessed to be back. I recently started my own private practice called My Healing Grace. You can go ahead and check that out, where I deal with elderly people dealing with mental health issues like anxiety, depression, stress, and transitional situations. And so it has been at the forefront of my mind for quite some time. And I figured, why not make a video on it so that we can delve in these things together? And so we're going to be talking about overcoming anxiety, stress, and depression through a perspective lens. Stay tuned. So whether you're struggling with this for yourself or you know someone else who's struggling with mental health, anxiety, depression, and stress, this topic is for you. We're going to explore how people deal with these challenges in good ways and in bad ways, and just really figure out what God and the Bible has for us today. First, let's talk about what these struggles really are. What is anxiety? What is depression? And what is stress? Anxiety is that overwhelming feeling about the future, and I know we all have it, but there's a little bit difference in just normal anxiety and anxiety that takes over your life. The next thing is depression. Depression can feel like a heavy cloud that dims everything around you and nothing seems to be going your way. And stress, well, that's the overwhelming feeling that we get when life just doesn't go our way. All of these emotions are real and they can have an effect on our physical, emotional, and spiritual life, because I have been there, and I'm sure that if you're watching this video right now, you have too. But the reality is that people deal with these things different ways. Sometimes there are good ways of dealing with anxiety and depression, and there are absolutely unhealthy ways that I do not recommend. Some of the healthy things are taking time to talk to a trusted friend or a therapist about it. It's so important for us to really just have that person that is non-biased, that is non-judgmental, that is able to talk to you and really guide you the right way. The number one thing is that you want to make sure that person is Christ-centered. You don't want somebody that's going to take you towards the opposite way or really push you away from God. The other thing that is very helpful is exercising or staying active. I know for me, staying active, whether it's walking my dog outside, going into the sauna at the gym, or just doing some quick cardio, is a huge game changer for me. It helps me refocus, it helps me calm down, and it helps me keep my anxiety on edge. The other thing is practicing mindfulness and prayer. Start your day with prayer, whether it's a 2-minute, 5-minute, 10-minute prayer, your devotional, whatever it may be. Connect with God daily and stay mindful and stay present. With my clients, sometimes I realize that the things that they worry about or they're anxious about really aren't things that they can control. So really figure out what are things that you can control and things that are out of your control. Sometimes we worry, and in reality, we're just stressing ourselves out, and there's nothing that we can do or any type of feeling that we have that can change the outcome. So being mindful and stay prayed up all the time is a definite must. And the other thing is journaling your thoughts and emotions. If you don't like to journal, maybe you can grab your phone and you can jot some things down, or maybe just, write some notes on your Bible or wherever it may be. For me, writing things down and listening to them or repeating them over and over is really, really good. It helps me really believe what I'm writing down, and it helps me also organize all these thoughts into my mind. I have said it before, I love to-do lists. I also have a list for all of my anxieties, my doubts, my stresses, all of those things. I put them on paper, they're out of my head, and again, I put them into prayer. And then also check your emotions. Depression is a medical condition. Anxiety, panic attacks are also, but you don't want to stay in that place. And I've said it before. Our emotions are given to us by God. Some of them are situational, but we don't want to stay in that place for too long. Some unhealthy ways of coping with the situations is ignoring the problem and bottling up our emotions. So many of us have spent years and years and years. We have been trained by our parents to just keep our emotions in, put that wall up, and just not talk to anybody. What happens in the family stays in the family. And I'm here to tell you that you need to talk to somebody about it. Whether it's your friend, whether again, it's a therapist, whether it's your partner, right? My partner, my husband, is my best friend. And so I can talk to him about anything. If not, I have a really good friend who's also a therapist, and she can help me and she can help me process through things. But definitely keeping it bottled up is not helping anybody, and it'll actually cause issues with you emotionally, but also physically in the long run. The other thing is turning to harmful habits. We all know what those are: drugs, alcohol. I'm gonna even say it, Shopping is an issue also. If we want shop therapy or retail therapy, it can also create a wedge between us and our spouse, us and our partner. Our finances become really, really tight. And so we want to make sure that we are having healthy ways to deal with our depression and our anxiety. And then the other thing is overworking or isolating ourselves. This is not a good thing for us to do. It's kind of like when you're in the grief process and you're just trying to not deal with it. So overworking because you want to just not deal with the situation, eventually there's going to be a time where you're just going to explode. The tension is going to get so high that it's just going to just explode in the most negative way, whether it's lashing out at your family, lashing out at work, your work productivity is going to decrease, whatever it is. Overworking is not a good thing. Now, if you're telling me, well, I don't really work, I'm kind of a stay-at-home mom, having that to-do list, that never-ending to-do list, or always finding things to do for you not to deal with your anxiety or depression is not a very good or healthy way of dealing with it. And on those lines, isolating is not good. God did not create us to be alone. God created us to be in community, to be with fellowship with one another. And so Satan is the one who wants us to isolate. Satan wants to keep us in our own little bubble, to start messing with our minds, start messing with our thinking, making us think about things that necessarily aren't true, but he's making us think they are, making us believe lies. And so isolation is definitely not the way to go. It really just increases our anxiety, it increases our depression, and sometimes it can even lead to suicide. So we definitely don't want to do that. And then the last one is negative self-talk and hopelessness. It's going to be all right. Things are only like this for a season. They're going to get better. It always gets better, but it really depends on you and what you choose to do. So feeling hopeless and depressed, give that to God. Make sure that you know that you're not alone in this. Reach out to somebody. And that negative self-talk, so many of us don't know that we're actually wired to think and behave in the negative. We are constantly thinking about the what ifs and assuming that people are talking about us, assuming the worst, thinking that really bad things are going to happen, instead of thinking that, knowing this is only for a season, this is only for a time. Lord, what is it that you want from me? What is it that you want me to learn during this difficult time? And try to turn that negative behavior, that negative thought process into positive. You know, the Bible talks about anxiety and depression, and it offers us wisdom and comfort in these times. And so I'm going to go through a couple verses, and I hope that you write them down. If you have other ones, please make sure that you share them. The first one is going to be Philippians 4:6-7, and it says, "Do not be anxious about anything, but in everything in prayer and supplication, by thanksgiving, let your requests be known to God." God wants us to go to him in our good times and in our bad times. Anxiety and depression and stress is not of the Lord, and that is of the enemy. And so we have to go to him. There is nothing too big or too small that God cannot handle. And once you learn that, you will give every single thing to God in prayer, because he wants that. He wants that fellowship with us. He wants us to use him as our number one resource. When everybody else lets us down, God will never let us down, and he's always there. Our next verse is found in 1 Peter 5:7, and it says, "Cast all your anxiety on him because he cares for you." God cares for you. He cares about your anxieties. He cares about your worries. He cares about your to-do list. He cares about every single thing. And so cast your anxieties on him. Our third one is Matthew 11:28, and it says, "Come to me, all you who are weary and heavy burdened, and I will give you rest." Don't you want that rest, that peace that only comes from him? We try to look for it through shopping, through other things, bad habits, and nothing else brings us peace and rest like God. He wants us to cast our burdens, our troubles, all of our baggage onto him. And I can guarantee you, it may not feel like it the first time or the second time, but as you continually give your anxieties, your burdens to him, you are going to feel so much lighter, knowing that you're not alone, knowing that he's got it, and that he has great plans for you. And our last verse is found in Isaiah 41:10, and it says, "Do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God." You have to trust that we serve a mighty, all-powerful, he can do anything type of God. He wants us to put all of our fears, all of our doubts in him, because he's the only one who can change things, friends. Our friends can talk to us, but they cannot change things for us. God is the only one. And when we act out on that faith that we tell everyone that we have, when we actually act out on it, we will see amazing things happen. Jesus himself addresses fear and worry and doubt, and he reminds us to trust in him. And so while faith is powerful, it doesn't mean that we totally ignore professional help. Like I said before, anxiety, depression are things that sometimes we need medication for, and that's fine. But we don't want to just rely on one thing. We don't want to rely on just the therapist or the medication, because eventually we want to try to come away from it if we're able to. There are circumstances that we cannot, but through prayer and through professional help, guys, there is no way that you cannot overcome it. As Christians, we believe that God deeply cares about our physical needs, our emotional needs, and our spiritual needs as well. And that includes our mental health. Trust and have faith that God can get us through it. There's a difference between being a Christian and a non-believer. A Christian holds on to the promises of God. He has that one person that he can trust with his whole heart, and that person that will never let him down. And I feel really bad for the people that are non-believers, because they trust in themselves, they trust in science, they trust in only professionals, which is great, but they don't have that hope. They don't have that faith. And so when I am weak, when I admit that I am weak, is when God makes me strong. When I am imperfect and I trust in the one that is perfect, that makes me all the more trusting, knowing that God is in control. And so if you're struggling, know that you're not alone. God sees you, he loves you, and he wants to bring healing to your heart. And so if this video encouraged you, let me know in the comments below. Share your thoughts about your favorite Bible verses or anything that you do to help you with anxiety or depression or stress. And I would love to hear how you overcame that. If you need help, please reach out to someone that you trust. If you have had any suicidal thoughts or you know someone that has, there is the National Suicide Hotline number, and it is 988. You just dial 988 and you're able to talk to somebody who will be able to help you or someone that you know. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with your friends in need. Till the next time.